Hi guys, and welcome to today's class. And today we are going to be talking about the organ larynx. So pick your paper and your pen and let's get started. Well guys, yeah, welcome back. Now let's talk about the larynx. The larynx. And now for the larynx, it is also dubbed or also called the voice box. The voice what? The voice box. And what is the meaning of that? It means it is the one responsible for the production of voice, which is that if you don't have a larynx, rather, it means you won't be able to talk. So that is why they call it the voice box. It is where the production of voice is being performed. Now, to describe the larynx, let's use our acronym proper: DOL S raised to power 4 F. Now, the D is description. It contains what? The system, the color, and the weight. And now the O is organ in relation. Organ in relation. And the next one is location. So the first S, call it the shape, the size, the structure, and the supply. And the last thing is function. Now let's take a look at this one after the other. Now, for the system, it's an organ of the what? Of the respiratory system. So I've told you the majority of the organs of the respiratory, we used to neglect a lot of things about them. So the color and the weight neglected now. So the next thing I'm supposed to talk about. So instead of the color and the weight, you can talk about the I don't know how to use this, but let's forget about it for now. I'll tell you about it very well later. Now, the next thing is organ in relation. I will tell you these under the structure. So let's leave it for now as well. But let me just do this. So for the larynx, it looks like this. So I want to be given the diagram in the organ in relation. We can just easily do a sketch right here. So now I don't know whether it's straight or not. Oh, it is not, absolutely not. And that's because I'm actually facing the board with my side. So but we don't really need the real deal here. We're not talking about the diagram later. Now the point is that all this part to this part is the larynx. So the what? The larynx. And on top of it is this bone called the hyoid bone. Hyoid what? The hyoid bone. And now below it is this structure, which is called the trachea. As simple as that. And now let's talk about organ in relation now. For the superiorly now, so superiorly to the larynx. So what do you have? You have the hyoid bone. As simple as that. So the hyoid bone is on top of the what? Of the larynx. And then inferiorly means below. So inferiorly is this structure called the trachea. So trachea. So trachea. And now anteriorly now, which means in front. So what do we have there? So let's quickly do this. Now, we already know that this is the larynx, right? And now in front of it, what do you have? You have the neck, so the anterior part of the neck. So, but the truth is it's lined with muscle in front. So you can say the muscle forming the anterior part of the neck. Muscle forming the what? Forming the anterior part of the neck. So as simple as that. Now, what about posteriorly? Do not forget, this is your what? Your pharynx. So this is the what? Nasopharynx, right? So the part behind the nose. And this is the what? This is your oropharynx now, up to this point. So oropharynx. And from ear to ear is the what? The laryngopharynx. And it is located posteriorly. So it means posteriorly, what you are going to have is the laryngopharynx. Laryngopharynx. So I want to take it that you understand all these things. So we talked about them in our previous classes. So that's the reason I don't want to emphasize much on it. So using this diagram, we already know that this is your pharynx at the posterior part. So we have the laryngopharynx, the part of the pharynx behind the larynx, which means behind the larynx we have that part. So in front, most from the anterior part of the neck. Superiorly you have the hyoid bone, and inferiorly you have the trachea. As simple as that. Now, talking about the location, you've known that already from this diagram. It is located so at the anterior part of the neck. So anterior part of the what? Anterior part of the neck. So as simple as that. And now the next thing is the shape. So for this shape, you can neglect it. But talking about the size, it varies. It's what? It varies. So for the size, I'm going to say it what? It varies in size. So, but in adults, in male adults, it grows larger to form something called the Adam's apple. Adam's what? Adam's apple. So the anatomical name for that is laryngeal prominence. Laryngeal what? Laryngeal prominence. So as simple as that. So a quick recap again. We said the larynx is an organ of the respiratory system. We're not going to talk about the color nor the weight, and we talk about the organ in relation. Superiorly, what's the height of it is the hyoid bone, and now inferiorly we have the trachea below. Now anteriorly, which means in front, muscle forming the anterior part of the neck, and posteriorly is a structure called laryngopharynx. As simple as that. Now we talked about the location. So from this diagram we know is what it is located at the anterior part of the neck. And now talking about the shape, I said you can neglect that. For the size, it varies in size. And I said in adult male, it grows larger to form something called the Adam's apple. And anatomically, the Adam's apple is called what? Laryngeal prominence. As simple as that. So let's talk about the structure. And whenever we say structure, we know that it is what? It is drawing time. So I'll be right back. Hold on, guys. Yeah, welcome back. Now talking about the diagram. So we're talking about the structure of the larynx now. But I'll give you a candid advice. Do not try to follow me with the diagram. So you can actually do that later yourself. So the point is that talking about the structures of the larynx, so we have some differences rather in opinions depending on the textbook you are using. So if you are using Rose and Wilson, so Rose and Wilson will tell you that these the structure of the larynx are what? Are cartilages. So cartilage. Now the point is that for Rose and Wilson said we have 5 cartilages in the larynx. So 5 cartilages in what? In the larynx. But if you are using other textbooks like Gilton, or you are using Merriam, so Merriam is even more popular than Gilton. So if you are using Merriam will tell you that we have 9 cartilages. So we are going to talk about the 2. We are going to describe the larynx based on this simpler one, which is the 5 cartilage. Now, for the 5 cartilage, the acronym is CATE. K what? CATE. So the first cartilage, which is C, is cricoid cartilage. And then the A is arytenoid cartilage. Arytenoid cartilage. And the 3, which is T, is thyroid cartilage. Thyroid cartilage. And then the first one, which is the last one, is E. And that is the epiglottis. Epiglottis. So these are the 5 cartilages of the larynx according to Rose and Wilson. Now you see that we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, this cricoid cartilage is 1. This arytenoid is 2. And the others are 1 and 1. And that will give you 5. 1 plus 1 will give you 2. Plus 2 will give you 4. Plus 1 will give you 5. As simple as that. So that is for what? That is for Rose and Wilson. So just for additional knowledge, I will talk about these 9 cartilages of the larynx according to Merriam. So the point is that the cartilage of the larynx are 5 according to what? According to Rose and Wilson. And the acronym is CATE. So the C is cricoid, the A is arytenoid, the T is thyroid, and the E is epiglottis. Now, back to this Merriam. So Merriam and others and hosts, they said the cartilage of the larynx is about 9. And now they divided them into 2. So they grouped them into what? Into 2. So they called some the paired cartilage. So paired cartilages. And the other one are called the unpaired cartilage. So unpaired. Now what's the meaning of that? When they say paired, what they're referring to is that some cartilage of the larynx they occur in pairs, two cartilages. So the first one, okay, the acronym for this is CAC. Now, the first C is cuneiform, or you can say corniculate. Corniculate. So the A is arytenoid. I'm sorry. I'm coming. It seems I have a big mistake right here. So arytenoid. Arytenoid is 2. Oh, that's the word answer. Oh, yes, it's 2. So arytenoid. And the next one is C, cuneiform. Cuneiform. So these 3 cartilages are what? They are paired cartilage. They occur in 2, so in pairs. So corniculate, arytenoid, and cuneiform. As simple as that. Now, for the unpaired, that is, they occur once. So the acronym is ETC, etc. So the E is epiglottis rather. Epiglottis. And the T is thyroid cartilage. Thyroid cartilage. And then the next one is what? The next one is C, and that is cricoid. So these are the cartilage of the what? Of the larynx, according to what? According to Merriam. If you want to discuss this in an examination condition, I think the best thing I would advise you to use is this 5 cartilage of the larynx. So let's talk about 5 cartilage of the larynx, one after the other. So let me do a quick recap first. So for the cartilage of the larynx, according to Ross and Wilson, you have what? 5 cartilage, and then they are what? 8. So for Merriam, you have 9 cartilage, and they group them into 2. Paired cartilage and the unpaired cartilage. So the paired, the acronym is CAC, and the acronym for the unpaired is ETC. As simple as that. So let's talk about the epiglottis first now. So let's use this part. So epiglottis. Epiglottis. Now, epi is from the word above. And glottis means the space within the larynx. The space within the what? Within the larynx. So, if you say epiglottis, it means this epiglottis is a cartilage that is above the space within the larynx. Now, to understand this better, let's assume that the larynx is a barrel. So, an empty barrel to be precise. So, if this is the larynx, the space within it, that empty space within that barrel is called the glottis. So, glottis is space. So, a space within the what? Within the larynx, and larynx is the what? The barrel. Now, this epiglottis generally is just the cover. Is the what? The epiglottis is the cover. Epiglottis. So it means it is epi. It is above the what? The glottis. So the space within the larynx. As simple as that. I hope you get that. So the epiglottis is the what? It is the cartilage that covers the what? That covers the larynx. So do not use the word cover. Use the word seal off. Seal what? Seal off. Now, I try to bring a diagram there to explain more about this epiglottis. So our usual diagram. So we have the nose, the mouth. So then we have our words. We have all this paparazzi right here. Now, this is where we are coming to. So here, I have a structure right here. Then you have your U, the big one to below the larynx. You have a trachea below. Now, if we inhale here, oxygen to be precise, it passes like this into the pharynx. From the pharynx, then it comes this way into the larynx, taking a turn. Right? Yes. Now imagine that someone takes in a bolus of food. So the food particle will move like this into the what? It will move into the, let me use a different marker. It will move into the what? It's going to move straight up into the pharynx. And now, this food particle, it can enter into the airway. But the food particle is not supposed to enter into the airway. Now what's going to happen? This epiglottis is this structure. Epiglottis. So it's going to seal off. It's going to close the airway. And then the food is going to pass through its proper part. Into the what? Into this esophagus below. Now let's magnify this again. If this is your pharynx now, your larynx rather, it is covered by something on top, and this thing is called epiglottis. Epiglottis. So when food particle is coming, instead of entering, it's going to close up like this. So the food particle will not enter it. So the food particle will pass downward like this into the proper pathway, which is the esophagus. As simple as that. Now, if that be the case, I will take it that you understand the function of the epiglottis. So it is meant to seal off the airway. So to prevent foreign particles from entering into the nose, into the larynx rather, such as the food particle to be precise. Now, that is that about the epiglottis. So the epiglottis is what? It is actually the cartilage that covers the larynx. And then to understand it, we divided it into two, like the epi, which means above, and glottis is the space within the larynx. So we exemplify it using this analysis. That we have the glottis, which is the space within the barrel, and the barrel will be the larynx, and the cover will be the epiglottis. So it is above It is above this glottis. As simple as that. Now let's talk about the next cartilage. So I would like to talk about the thyroid cartilage next. So let me clean the board and then we'll talk about it. I'll be right back. Yeah, welcome back. So let's talk about the thyroid cartilage now. The thyroid cartilage. Now forget about the diagram first. So let's quickly do this. Now, just imagine that someone is praying earnestly to God to ask for something. The point is, we all have different ways of demonstrating this. Some people, when they are praying, their hands goes like this. And some, when they are praying, their hand goes like this. Some, when they are praying, their hands go like this. And this is what we need to explain the larynx. So, just imagine someone praying to God doing like this. Now, this gesture is a combination of two palms. You get the point? Two hands coming together. So it resembles the larynx just like this. Now the question is how? This one hand is called lamina, and the other one is called lamina. So put that at the back of your At the back of your mind. That the thyroid cartilage is made up of what? Of two lamina. So thyroid lamina. Thyroid lamina. Not be lamina here, I think. Now the point is, when you bring these two hands together, they're going to join at a junction here. So just this junction at the middle. So just this place. And that place is called the laryngeal prominence. So where they are connected together, it's called the what? Laryngeal prominence. Laryngeal prominence. And then after that, what are you supposed to say? Let's come back again. The first palm and the second one, they are called the thyroid lamina. And then they come together to join together at the laryngeal prominence. And now, if you look superiorly to the laryngeal prominence, it means on top. What can you see? You will see that this part, it resembles a letter. And that letter is going to be what? Letter V. So it means superiorly now to this laryngeal prominence, superiorly to it, the structure is a V-shaped structure called the what? Called the thyroid notch. Thyroid what? Thyroid notch. As simple as that. Now, let's come back once again. We said we are earnestly praying for something rather from God. We do like this. And now, the first hand is called the thyroid lamina. The other one is the thyroid lamina as well. So the thyroid cartilage is made up of two lamina coming together at the what? At the laryngeal prominence, at the middle ear. And now, superiorly to it, which means on top, is a V-shaped structure called the what? The thyroid notch. As simple as that. And now, finally, you will realize that just doing like this, you are going to have two things at the posterior part, just at the back. And they are these and what? And these fingers. So this upper finger and the what? And this lower finger. So the point is that their name is what? Is cornu. So they are called cornu. So at the posterior part of the what? So at the posterior, just at the back. So at the back. So at the posterior part of the larynx. So posterior part are what we call the what? The cornu. And now if you take a careful look at it, you realize that some cornu are on top, are above, while some cornu are what? They are below. So from your knowledge of anatomical term, the cornu on top are going to be called what? The superior cornu. Superior what? Superior cornu. And then the ones below we call the what? The inferior cornu. And then we are done with the description of the thyroid cartilage. And now this is just a sketch to understand. Now let me give you just a small diagram about the what? About the cartilage. So we said the two thyroid lamina, they are coming together, right? So this butterfly shaped. Something of this nature. So, excuse me, things very bent because I'm not facing the board squarely. Let me use somewhere else. Let me use the other part. Let me just clean the board and come back with it. So we can have a good diagram. So I like to clean the board and come back with it. So stay tuned. Yeah, welcome back. So talking about the what? Talking about the thyroid gland. So they are made up of what? Of two lamina. So let's say this is the first lamina now. So two lamina. So this is the first lamina now. So the thyroid lamina. The thyroid lamina. How are you getting that? And then the other one on this side. So this one is the thyroid lamina. Thyroid lamina. And now we come together to join at the what? At this junction. And that is the what? The laryngeal prominence. Laryngeal prominence. So this is the first palm and this is the second one. So that the lamina come together at the what? At the center. This is the laryngeal prominence. And I said superiorly to this laryngeal prominence, so ahead of it, you have something right here, V-shaped structure. And I said it's called the what? The thyroid notch. Thyroid notch. And after that, I said at the posterior part, so at the posterior part of the larynx, we have what? Some sets of corn here. So you can draw this by doing this. Another one here. So you said the sets of cornu on top are called the what? The superior cornu. Superior cornu. And then the ones at the lower part are called the what? Inferior cornu. And they are done with the description of the thyroid gland. As simple as that. Now, after the thyroid gland, the next thing I'd like to describe to you is the cricoid cartilage. So for the cricoid cartilage, it is just at this junction. So right here. So the cricoid cartilage. The cricoid cartilage. Now, what are you going to say about this cricoid cartilage? This cricoid cartilage, it completely encircles or encapsulates the what? The larynx inferiorly. So that's the trick here. You should have known that by now. So the point is that this cricoid cartilage, it looks like a ring, and it completely encircles the what? Encircles the larynx inferiorly. That is, at the inferior part. This is not straight. I'm sorry. So we'll deal with it later. Don't worry. So the point is that this cricoid cartilage, it completely encircles the larynx inferiorly. And now what I'm going to say about it is that it resembles something called a signet ring. So a signet what? A signet ring. Now the question is, what is a signet ring? From the word sign in front of it, this is sign. So they used to use a signet ring to sign. So the signet ring is going to be put inside the finger. So any part, maybe the index or the first one. So the point is, that signet ring, it is broader posteriorly. It is large. So at the posterior side, something of this nature. Let's assume this is a ring now. So this is what the signet rings look like. So we are going to have some kind of emblem or logo right here, which will bear the person's signature. So they used to use these in late American movies, things like the Merlin, Seeker, so the GOT, Game of Thrones, etc. So the point is that when they put this border part is located on the posterior part of their hand. Shall we get the point? So it is bordered posteriorly, but all this one is just to maintain it in position, and they are found on the anterior part. So that is what the signet ring, and that is what we are going to say about the cricoid cartilage. We are going to say the cricoid cartilage, it completely encircles the what? The larynx inferiorly, and it resembles a what? A signet ring, which is what? Which is broader posteriorly, broader what? Posteriorly at the back, and thinner anteriorly. As simple as that. I hope you get that. Now, I'll tell you that later. Okay, let me just do this right here. Oh no, when I come with the big diagram, so I will do that. So forget about what I'm thinking about. So the point is that the cricoid cartilage is what? The cricoid cartilage is completely encircles the larynx inferiorly, and then it resembles a signet ring, which is broader posteriorly and what? And thinner anteriorly. As simple as that. And the last cartilage is the what? Is the arytenoid cartilage. Arytenoid what? Arytenoid cartilage. You can't see the arytenoid from here because this is the frontal part. But let's assume we are seeing the posterior part. They are going to complete this sinus ring. We said it's a ring. So it is thinner. So now, this is the point now. So at the posterior part. So the point is, excuse me, I think I have some kind of trouble right here. Of course, forget about it. Let's forget about it. Now, the point is that the arytenoid cartilage, they are a little bit pyramidal, and there are two. So it occurs in pairs. So the arytenoid cartilage occurs in pairs, and it sits on the posterior part of the what? On the posterior part of the cricoid cartilage. I hope you are getting that. So the arytenoid, they sit on the posterior part of the what? Of the arytenoid cartilage. And now what are they doing there? What they are doing there is that they are serving as what? As an attachment for something. And what is that thing? I will tell you now. Now, imagine that these are what? Individuals, they are persons. And now they are holding a rope. But the rope comes from this place, this viscous part. So what they are serving as an attachment for is this rope. And these ropes, they are called the vocal cord. The vocal what? The vocal cord. Which means if you want to describe the arytenoid cartilage, after saying they are a little bit pyramidal in shape, and now they are located on the posterior part of the what? Of the cricoid cartilage. The point is that they serve as an attachment for what? For the vocal cord, which is connected to the what? To the V-shaped structure anteriorly, which is thyroid notch. As simple as that. So once again, the arytenoid is slightly pyramidal in shape, and then it serves as an attachment for these ropes called the vocal cord. And the vocal cord is connected to the what? To the thyroid notch anteriorly. As simple as that. And that is the description of the what? The description of the larynx. And now we are going to be left with one thing, and that is the interior of the larynx. And now I don't have to say anything about it. We've talked about it before. I called it the glottis. So what are you going to say about the interior of the larynx? Interior means within, so the internal environment. So the interior of the larynx is made up of series of vocal cords running from where? From the arytenoid cartilage to the what? To the vocal, to the thyroid notch. And it is the one responsible for what? For the production of sound. So it is covered by what? By the epiglottis. So we are just going to be doing repetition. So that is that about the what? About the larynx. So the interior contains the what? The vocal cords. Now I'll clean the board and complete this diagram. So the proper way to be. And I will add some things to it too, so that you can add it to the description of each cartilage. So I will be right back. Well done, guys. Yeah, welcome guys. Now let's complete this class with the diagram. So we said it has a lot of cartilage, right? Let's start with the thyroid cartilage. So we said the thyroid cartilage, it has lamina. So now we said the lamina. So it has what? It has they meet at the laryngeal prominence rather. Sorry about that. So thyroid lamina, thyroid lamina. So same thing here, and here is the what? Laryngeal prominence, laryngeal prominence. And after that, we said this V-shaped structure is called the thyroid notch. Thyroid notch. And after that, we said on its posterior side, we have some structure there. So, something right here. So beside these structures, they are called the superior coronal. Superior coronal. And these ones are called the what? Inferior coronal. Inferior coronal. And now after that, we said we have the signet shaped cricoid cartilage. So simple as that. Oh, I'm sorry, making the same mistake again, making it slant. So, so So let's take it again. So this way and this way. So let's take a look at it from here. Okay, not bad. Now, we said under these, we have some structures there, and that is the trachea. So you can use your U, a big U and a small U. Is it straight? Not straight as usual. So this is the trachea below. The trachea, we have an H between this. So then this structure is what? The cricoid cartilage. The cricoid cartilage. Now what next? Let's connect it with the hyoid bone. So you can just do this. It must be at the center, the middle, sorry. So that's it. So yeah. I'll leave that for now. The same thing right here. And we don't have enough parts to draw this. So, something of that nature. And at this upper end, we do this. And the structure right there is called the epiglottis. Epiglottis. But the bone itself is called the hyoid bone. Hyoid bone. And then you connect it together. So connect it to the thyroid cartilage. It's these membranes. So this membrane, it has a name. So it has a name. Now this membrane is connecting this cartilage rather, and this cartilage is called what? This cartilage is called the thyroid cartilage. So that will give us thyroid. And now this membrane is connecting this thyroid cartilage together with this hyoid bone. So this membrane will be called thyroid membrane. As simple as that. So thyroid what? Thyroid membrane. And now same thing is occurring at this end too. So same thing occurring right here. And now because this membrane now is connecting the thyroid and the cricoid cartilage together, So the word cricoid will be crico. So these are ligaments. So and the ligaments will be called what? Crico. Connecting the cricoid cartilage to the what? To the thyroid cartilage. That is thyroid. So cricothyroid cartilage. Sorry, ligament, sorry. Cricothyroid ligaments. That's the labeling for them. So as simple as that. So you can take the complete diagram of your words of your larynx. So if you have enough space, this iron cartilage is meant to be larger than this. At least it should be up to this junction. So you can just connect it easily like this. So this one should be up to this junction too. So you can connect it easily. But still, doesn't spoil. And that'll be the end for this class. So in our next class, talking about the trachea, the bronchi, and the tracheobronchi tree. So I wish you all the best, guys. Well done.